Welcome to the Embodiment Podcast. This show is for you if you see the body as more than a brain taxi. It's for people interested in coming home to the body as a holistic aspect of who we are and how we live. Episodes contain practical tips, exercises you can take away, and interviews with specialists from around the world. I'm your host for today, Mark Walsh. Special announcement podcast about the Embodied Facilitator Course. So the early bird rate ends on this course today. So if you're interested, better get in there. What is the Embodied Facilitator Course? Well, it's the central course of my life. It's the thing I most love work-wise. It's a 9-month course for trainers and facilitators who want to work more practically with the body, or body people like dancers, yoga teachers, body workers who want to work in a more mainstream way, like with business, for example. So what it is, personal transformation, deep personal practice, but mostly just professional skills, really, really good, clear models of working with embodiment, lots and lots of practice, a great community. That's what it is, really. Entering with, usually it's 28 people. We filled up last year. We decided to have a few less this year. 28, by the way, we had twice as many people actually go for it last year and turned away half. So there is an application process where we see if people are a good fit. Like, my general way of doing business, but particularly with EFC, is to make sure people genuinely are going to get a lot from it, that we're going to love them, they're going to love the work, it's a good fit. It has to be, because we're together very intensely. It's 2 days in London and then 2 7-day retreats in the British countryside. So it involved 3 trips to the UK. We've people this year from Japan, Saudi Arabia, the United States, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, all over. So people do come from far and wide. 3 trips to the UK. Food and accommodation is included in the 2 big ones. So there's only accommodation needed in London for the first 2-day part of it, the introduction. There's online learning, really, really good system we have now over the years. We're in our, is it 8th year in the UK, and I think 5th or 6th year in Russia, which is the other place that it runs. Should you be listening to this in Russia or be a Russian speaker, I know they have people from Latvia and various other places, Ukraine come. So 2 places to do it, London and Moscow. The London one is the main one I'm talking about here, though, so both you can find online. As I said, 3 modules with online learning in between, a whole bunch of videos, really well structured. So, for example, you have a peer group. In your peer group, you'll do work every week. There's tasks to do between hand, and it's just beautifully managed next year by the ever-efficient Daniela, who run the Embodiment Conference. Her German efficiency will be in place to cover up my complete messy madness and make sure things run beautifully smoothly and all the emails go out at the correct time. So the course, as I said, the main benefits, really practical tools, stuff you can use working with embodiment, really reviewing and looking at your own embodied practice. Everyone who comes on it deepens their own practice, expands it, see how it relates to other things, and takes on a new practice. That's part of the course, is taking on a new practice. You'll get a lot of choice in that. There's different options, but people expand their embodied range. As well as this, the tools, the community. I think every year people underestimate what it's like to be on a year-long journey with other people passionate about this work, passionate about embodiment, and the links they gain, that I'll never be short of a space to stay anywhere in Europe, basically. Professional links, people starting companies, 2 people even had a baby, not on the course, afterwards. So, people build strong links, and I don't know, it's a great international community, and many people stay connected to years afterwards. They come and help out the next year, or they join my mentoring program. I've got relationships of teaching mentoring that go back 4 or 5 years with a whole bunch of people, because they see the value in staying connected. But the course itself is, as I said, 9 months, really, with pre-work, post-work, a bit more. 3 trips to the UK, as I said, that are involved. The content, all the embodiment stuff that I teach, but at a much higher level than you'll ever hear me do on YouTube or Facebook, or, sometimes people think all I teach I give away, because I give away so much, but actually there's a whole nother level of it. And I think having the accountability around that, lots of feedback. We work with all the classic models you might have heard me teach on here, like centering and cycles and 4 elements, leader follower work, leadership work. We work with shadow work a little bit. We bring in some improv, we bring in some dance. Basically, we're hitting it from multiple perspectives. So this is, I think, unique. The EFC course is a multiple perspective course, not this is the one way to do it. Actually, there's always at least 2 lead trainers. So myself and Alexandra Vilvoskaya, you may have heard in a recent podcast, are the lead trainers. But then there's guest trainers like Rachel Blackman. We have Paul Linden do webinars. There's webinars from a whole bunch of teachers, in-person guest trainers as well. We have a very senior leadership trainer in charge of ritual for the course. We have people in charge of well-being. We even have someone in charge of beauty. I mean, the staffing is absurd. This is really a very high-end course. I think this year we had 15 people in the staff team looking after 32 participants, so 33 participants. So it was, it's a pretty good staff ratio in terms of, trainers and coaches. And next year it's even more silly with staff. It's a bit of a special year, actually, because we're going to be expanding in 2021 to New York and Berlin. There are some very senior teachers coming from New York, Martha Eddy, Curtis Watkins, and also from Berlin, Krista from Berlin, who's one of the senior sort of people in the somatic scene in Berlin. So they're only going to be there because they're learning how to do it. So it's going to be the most senior staff team we have ever had, I think, fairly uniquely. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of EFC because it works. It helps people change. It helps them develop professional skills. It gives them a community. It's well structured. And also it's just loads of fun. I mean, EFC is intense. I mean, don't sign up if you're a mess. Don't sign up if you're not resilient, because it is tough. It is intense and, really requires a level of personal self-care and resilience that's not to be taken lightly. It's a challenge, but it's also loads of fun. I mean, just the silliness we have, the pies we have, the dancing we do, the jokes, it's, ridiculously good. I mean, we're working very long days and the time flies because people are loving it. So, what else did I say about EFC? Who shouldn't come to EFC? This is something I've put out before. And again, I'm looking for a good fit, right? So if you're thinking about EFC, listen up. I'd say basic resilience, first of all. If you're needing healing, it's not really a healing course. There is healing that happens on it, but it's primarily an educational course. And if someone's just in a bad way in life, no fault of their own, this is not the course for them. It's just too demanding. If stuff happens to you along the way, of course, there's some flexibility there. But I'd say if you're not well, too much untreated trauma, life's a mess, not a good fit. If you're very politically correct or even a bit politically correct or even believe in the concept of being offended, do not come. Please save yourself the fucking time and money. There is a lot of humour. There is a lot of joking. Myself, the Australians involved, the Russians, we're not a PC crowd. So leave that, that if you're someone who's easily offended or even a bit offended, just stay at home. It's not worth it for you. The other group of people I say who I occasionally see waste their time is occasionally we have someone who turns up who just can't be a learner, someone who is a know-it-all. They've done all the coaching courses. They're unwilling to be open to new things, which at EFC is crazy because there's so many things at EFC with so many different teachers. So even if you knew everything I knew, you wouldn't know everything Villian knew or one of the other trainers. But occasionally we do get these people who find it difficult to learn, who are a bit know-it-all, a bit arrogant. And if that's you, again, stay away because you will be severely challenged on that. And if you can't get out of it, you will just be thrown off the course. We don't often do that, but it does occasionally happen because if someone's not open to learning, we've all been on courses with that person. It's just annoying. So, I'd say we don't tolerate that. So what else? If you're not prepared for new things, don't come. I mean, they're the main ones. I mean, mostly the people that do great from it would either be like experienced body people, like people with 20, 30 years, yoga, dance, body work, who want to look at the bigger picture, maybe want to, we call it kill some unicorns, who want to kill the dolphins, who want to take their work into more mainstream environments, usually very experienced people. I'm thinking of yoga teacher on the course this year, for example, or an Aikido teacher, 4th degree black belt. That's pretty normal. Or they're business coaches, they're executive coaches, people that know the body matters. They know the body is an important part of training and coaching, but then maybe they're not quite sure how to do it. They haven't got their own practice. They're doing executive work, corporate work. Maybe they've read, my stuff or Strozzi's stuff or whatever. And they're like, okay, we want to actually learn some practical tools and I want to go a bit deeper in myself in this work. And this gives those people nearly a year-long immersion into it so they can add that to their repertoire. They might be NLP trainers. We have a lot of people from CTI. We've had some good coaches from Integral Coaching. people that have done a bit of body stuff in their own coaching, facilitation training. Occasionally we get people who are just interested in it from a personal point of view. I would say that's possible, though, you would be expected in the second half of the course to be doing coaching and training and practice hours. If you've got no background in any helping modality, no coaching, no therapy, no training, then it can be a little tricky, from just doing it from personal growth point of view. But every year there's one or two people that do that, and we make sure they've got enough basics to be safe so they can do some basic practice. So it is possible that it's primarily aimed at facilitators, whether they're coming from the corporate side or from the alternative side. What else to say about it? Strong code of ethics, strong accountability between the senior staff team. I don't know. I've said the main things: well organised, pragmatic, nice community feel to it, and lots of fun. So if you want to look it up, go to embodiedfacilitator.com or just Google Embodied Facilitator Course. On there, you can see all sorts of things, videos, resources, information on it, quotes from past students. If you want to talk to a past student, we can do that. The process is that you have to apply. You will then get an interview with Daniela, and you spend half an hour to an hour figuring out if it's a good fit or not. So applying doesn't mean you're committed, but then we take the deposit. So if you apply before the early bird deadline, which is, if this is going out correctly, today, but let me give you the date just in case it doesn't go out correctly. Double checking this. Yes, the 24th of October. 24th of October. After that, it does get more expensive. The other thing is my book's coming out at the end of November, and my book is a massive plug for EFC, so I'm sure EFC will fill up as per last year. Last year, I think we filled up around about November, December time. I think it's before Christmas anyway. So that's probably going to happen again. So if you apply, you can at least get in the queue. You can always decide not to do it or do it the next year. So do have a look, embodiedfacilitator.com. See if it's a good fit for you. If it is, maybe I will see you next year. Some ways to get more, to give back, and to get more involved now. So the biggest request I have would be to share the podcast with your friends, people that you think would really enjoy it. Email it to them, put it on your social media, tell them about it, old school. Really appreciate that. Equally, if you want to support us financially, you can go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/embodiment podcast and give us $1 an episode. And I'd say they're well worth $1. So that's less than £1 if you're in UK-ish. So yeah, please go there. On the embodiedfacilitator.com website is where this is hosted. Most people I think listen to for iTunes. iTunes, we'd certainly appreciate a review. The way iTunes works means that a review means more people will find it. iTunes regards it as more important for searches. So even a couple of sentences review really does help as a little thank you to us. And if you want to go to embodiedfacilitator.com, you can see the actual, links to the sites. There's comments on there. The Facebook group tends to be where people discuss things. So if you go to put in the Embodiment Podcast into Facebook, there's a page which is relatively quiet and a group which does have some discussion on. So I will reply to things personally there. So also on embodiedfacilitator.com website, there's all sorts of freebies there. There's videos, there's free ebooks, there's ebooks you can buy. And of course, there's our newsletter list. If you want to stay in touch and learn about things like the Embodied Facilitator course and our next Embodied Yoga Principles teacher training, then go to that website and you'll see a little pop-up and you can get the newsletter through there. Okay, so I think they're the main ones. Tell your friends, pay us some money on Patreon, give us a review on iTunes, send us your email if you want to be on the newsletter list, and get involved on the Facebook there. Bit long. Pick whatever you like that works for you. Until next time, welcome home to the body.